Well, greetings from Western Colorado. I'm here with my family for a couple of weeks. Getting a chance to spend some time with them, and I figured to bring you along for a ride today. We're out at Glade Park. I did this ride last year. I did this area last year, not necessarily this particular ride. But we're out at Glade Park, and we're taking a road that'll bring us all the way to the Utah border. So I'm just hanging with my parents today. No real intervals or anything crazy planned, but it's a beautiful place to ride. I've got breath in my lungs. I'm out on the bike. Let's get it. So in order to get to this area of Colorado, you've got to either come in from the west, from Utah, which is where we're headed today, or you've got to come up from the Grand Valley up the Colorado National Monument. It's a bit of a hike to do that. My folks decided to drive the car and park up at the Glade Park store, neat little country store in the middle of nowhere. Just like that, we're in Utah, supposedly. It's a dead end. That's pretty much it. Is this Utah? This is Utah. Okay.
Yep, right there.
My goodness. It's crazy. I have no idea if the camera is picking it up, but there are grasshoppers all over this road. This is kind of the middle of nowhere. And yeah, plagues of Egypt maybe. This road really is pretty nice. There's been no traffic on it at all. There's a few little rough spots, but not bad. And there's some punchy little climbs. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say punchy. I'd say steady, maybe 6% for maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, this is my new favorite ride. So one of my very favorite prayers to pray, not only for myself, but for others, is the Apostle Paul's prayer from Ephesians chapter 1, where he prays for wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him. I think there's a similar prayer for the Colossians when he prays that they'd be enriched in spiritual wisdom. But I want to just take a few minutes and talk about this idea of wisdom. What is it? So for Jews in the first century like Paul and Jesus, wisdom and revelation had nothing to do with the later ideas that come out of Gnosticism of secret revelation or secret knowledge or special divine wisdom. I think in many ways it just relates to what the Jewish people have held throughout their history in something called the wisdom tradition. So think of the whole book of Proverbs, for instance. You know, it lays out two paths, the path of the wise and the path of the fool. And take this back even further to the Garden of Eden, where you get the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and it says there in Genesis that the tree seemed desirable to make one wise. Man, this goes way back to the beginning. So for Adam, he's basically going, man, if I can have the ability to navigate what's helpful and harmful to my existence without God in the picture, without having to go through a middleman, this seems pretty good. all right, why don't I take from the tree and eat? And of course, this is what happened, but this is the fatal flaw, right? Do we, as humans, have the ability, innate in and of ourselves, to navigate our existence and determine what is most helpful and most harmful? Well, it doesn't take much to look at human history and see, no, we don't. Our wisdom, our ability to determine what's most helpful and most harmful for life, it hasn't led to the perpetual well-being that Adam and Eve had before they made that deadly choice in the garden. And this is one of the reasons why the wisdom tradition is so important to the Jewish people. God, through Solomon, laid out the path to walk, the path of the wise. And in so many ways, man, this is just echoing so many of the things that God commanded Israel through his Torah. So I gotta be honest with myself. I clearly take the path of the fool more than I want. This is why I gotta pray so much for wisdom. Probably isn't too clear from the GoPro here, but I'm on a little climb. I got about a minute and a half or so left. Just keeping it easy. So what does this practically look like? Well, the way of wisdom is the way that Jesus himself walked and lived. Right? God approved of his life. God raised him from the dead. And in the same way, if we walk his path, if we choose his ways, God promises to raise us from the dead. So when people mistreat us, we forgive them. When people wrong us and smite us and say horrible things about us, we don't retaliate. We be generous. We seek to obey Jesus when no one's looking. This is the way of the wise. Well, we only got a couple miles left, so I'm gonna wrap up this video, but let me encourage you and let me challenge you. Open up Ephesians 1, verse 17. Pray for wisdom. Pray Proverbs chapter 2. Lord, I lift up my voice for understanding. Give me wisdom. I need the fear of the Lord and the knowledge of God. Amen. If this was encouraging, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.